on your fleet, right? I think you see your drivers not as drivers, right? They're partners, right? So they're what? Pilots. They're pilots, right? So in that sense, you're really going at it in a different way, right? In a really collaborative way, right? So how do you build? Because now we want to talk about culture, right? How do you build like that right culture that keeps that collaborative environment, one that people feel is open and they feel respected and there's actually trust, right?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. There's the motorcycle bike taxi space has obviously blown up since January of 2018. I started the business with people saying, this will never work. And I'm like, why not? It's worked everywhere else. And now people are like, why didn't I think of that? Right? But I think there's something very unique that we're doing. And it comes from a place of, honesty and truthfulness. Like we really care about the drivers. Like we're not messing around. Like I don't only do business to make money. I do business because I want to make an impact. I don't want to be on my deathbed and say, oh, I made a lot of money. I want to be on my deathbed and say, hey, I did something, right? So I think everybody at the company really cares about the drivers, and I think we can make a big impact. And when we go out there and we have meetings with the drivers and they all come, and I tell them that, hey, I'm going to do something, or hey, let me listen to your opinions. I do it from a place of truth. Like I really do want to, try to improve their lives. So I think it's just really being honest. Even when I do something wrong or the company does something wrong, I'm honest. I say, hey, yeah, we were actually charging you more and we didn't tell you. I'm sorry. We should have actually put this out there. And they're like, oh, you were charging me more. I didn't even know. And there's a whole ruckus. But they're like, hey, listen, he actually told you that he was charging more. And it's all just truthfulness. As long as you're not trying to do anything bad, why would you not say the truth, right? So I think the drivers really understand that, and I think that's how, what really differs us, at least for the drivers, from other bike taxi companies.
All right, we're going to open it up for questions in a little second. That's very, very important. We want to make sure that this is as collaborative as possible. So, Dami, right, you guys have a really amazing cohort, right, of diverse startups. How do you sort of bring all of that together? Like, do you guys sort of motivate founders to sort of share ideas, share problems, pain points? Do you sort of, I know you've spoken about cross-pollinating, but how does that work practically, right? Are some startups helping to fill the weaknesses of others? How do you guys really create that environment within your portfolio?
Okay, so I think that before we decide to make an investment, something that we try to do is look for the gaps in the startups that we have been.
Can you hear her?
Okay. Look for gaps in the startups that we have invested and look for startups that are solving those problems. And so we already know that this startup will be a good fit for the other one. And so that is also one of the drivers for us to invest in that company. And we, as much as possible, try to do everything that we can to make that investment. I'd say that post-investment, something that we also do is we have strategy sessions with them just to understand what they're going through. So we have an entire department called portfolio operations that work directly with our founders to just understand their day-to-day problems and help them with it. So even if it was with respect to some kind of connections that they needed, something that maybe even is not a problem that one of our startups is solving, we'll connect them to another startup that we know, that we've heard about, that is solving that problem. And then the other thing that we also do is we have Founders Day every year. So it's an annual event where all our founders come together. We handpick some of them to give, like keynote speech. We have people who run like PE firms and other VC firms to also come in to walk them through and talk them through kind of fundraising and also people who are experts in their own field to do the same thing. So I'd say that that is something that we also sell to founders or to entrepreneurs that we're investing in, and saying that you're not going to be going this alone. We're in it with you all the way.